But the youthful suspect, who once tried to become a Soviet citizen, still insists he did not fire the shots that killed the president and critically wounded the governor of Texas. Oswald told reporters at police headquarters just an hour ago, "I don't know what this is all about. I didn't do anything." The gun that fired the fatal shots was found on the 6th floor of the building behind some cartons full of school books. The empty shells were found on the 5th floor. There are fingerprints on the weapon used by the assassin, a bolt-action Argentine-made rifle of World War II vintage. As of this moment, police have not said whether the fingerprints are Oswald's.
Thank you. Jay Watson here, the gentleman you just heard from, Bob Clark from ABC in New York, and on his left, your extreme right, Bob Walker, news director of WFAA TV. We would like now to present the last hours of President Kennedy. So if we will roll the tape, Bob, let's take a look at it.
The last hours of President John F. Kennedy began this morning in a misty, grim day in Fort Worth, a city just 28 miles to the west of Dallas. At 8:45 this morning, President Kennedy walked outside of the hotel, bareheaded as usual and without a coat, into a parking lot across the street from Fort Worth's Hotel Texas. This was not a planned thing earlier when the president's Texas itinerary was planned, but in response to requests from Democratic leaders in Fort Worth, the president agreed to come out ahead of his regularly scheduled breakfast address, as he did come out and address some 8,000 people. These shots at 8:45 this morning in Fort Worth. The rain stopped about this time, by the way. I believe Bob Clark.
Yes, it had been raining quite heavily only a few minutes before. This speech was added suddenly to the president's schedule only yesterday evening. The White House announced at that time that Mr. Kennedy wanted to talk to the people of Fort Worth. His other major speech there was to the Chamber of Commerce.
It's interesting, too, right before the president made his speech, he was given a big Texas hat, a pair of cowboy boots, and also Mrs. Kennedy was given a pair of boots. Jim Wright, Fort Worth.
And the vice president being able to introduce the president, which he did. And President Kennedy's remarks outside were brief, but the people responded with warm applause. So happy that the president saw fit to come outside the hotel, since, of course, the hotel dining room where he spoke later has just limited seating capacity. 8,000 people was the estimate crowd.
The president had flown into Fort Worth late last night after a hectic first day on his planned three-day swing through Texas. He had the two speeches scheduled in Fort Worth and then was to move on to Dallas later in the day.